you just have to get used to the different surface, because we're going to be playing on grass versus, field turf, what we played on last week. So just making sure that our footing is right. Philadelphia, they always do a good job of taking care of their field. So really never had any real issues there. So not really worried about that. So it's going to be exciting to be back on grass because it definitely is softer than the AstroTurf.
What stands out about Jalen Hurts when you watch him on film?
He's a guy that he's a very exciting player. He does a really good job of extending plays with his legs, finding his receivers downfield. Doesn't really mind giving those guys an opportunity for those 50-50 balls. So he does a really good job of moving out of the pocket. They have a really good job of implementing him into the game plan with the read options. Moving him around a little bit with his legs, and also having design runs with his legs as well. So he's another element that we have to account for while preparing for this offense.
I feel like the biggest challenge A.J. Brown poses is
A.J. Brown is a very big physical receiver that doesn't mind contact, very good after the catch. He's a receiver that you definitely have to be on your P's and Q's every single down. He's a guy that can take it the distance any given time when the ball is in his hand. As you can see last week, making his new team debut, 10 catches on like 13 targets, 150-plus yards. So we know we have our work cut out for ourselves this week. These some real dudes that they have on the outside. So we have to make sure that we don't eliminate those big plays, get off the field on third downs, and be very, very stout in the red zone. So those key points there, I believe if we're able to do that at a high level, it give us a good opportunity coming out on top.
You mentioned all the things Jalen can do. Like, how much does that change a week's preparation when a guy is a dual threat?
For the most part, what changes is lane rush rush lanes are very important. Plastering your coverage is very important because, like I said earlier, he's a guy that does a really good job of extending plays and looking for his receivers downfield. I mean, I can go on and on about how many plays he made just off last year, and looking at the Detroit game last week, what he was able to do in a couple key third downs, key third and long situations. So he's a guy that's preparing for a team like this. It keeps you up at night, because you have to account for that extra element in that offense is that dual threat quarterback option. So, but I think we have a really good game plan. Coach Ed, he's seen this scheme before. He played against him last year. I can't remember what the score was when Denver ended up playing the Eagles last year, but he has he's familiar with the scheme, so he's seen it before. It's not like he not had opportunity to game plan against this scheme before. So I believe we're in really good hands now. It's up to the players to go out there and execute the game plan.
Ed was saying you guys had some receivers playing the Jalen Hurts role. Who are some of the people that are kind of trying to be him this week in practice?
They had Tristan playing Jalen this week.
Obviously, Hurts is mobile, but when you look at that Lions game, him scrambling as much as he did, was that a product of him looking to run, or is it that they blitzed him so much that it seemed that he was getting forced out?
Yeah, I think they was blitzing him a ton. A lot of cover zero blitzes. They were playing a lot of fire zones against him, trying to get him off his first read. And I think with those guys dialing up the pressure and making that first look for him cloudy. His second option was to take off, and sometimes it is, not even to take off to run. It's taking off looking for the third and fourth, and maybe even the fifth option. So that's where the plaster into your coverage comes a big part into when he does get out of the pocket, because you don't want to make a broken down play turn into a touchdown. So we have to. This is a different game. This is a different game that you have to prepare for, because traditional quarterbacks, you don't have to worry about scramble drills and quarterback option, read options, quarterback design runs. But like I said, I think we have a really good game plan in place. Now it's up to us to go out there and execute the game plan.
You mentioned that he likes to throw up some 50-50 balls. Is that over the years, has that become kind of more difficult to try and contest as contact rules have changed?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Because for the most part, when we are in that plastering or that scramble drill phase, 9 times out of 10, our back is against the quarterback. So the receiver is taught to come back to the quarterback if it's not there, break up field, and most of those passes are underthrown. But as a DB, we can't see that, and we end up running into the receiver. The rest is history after that. But for the most part, as a defensive back, we just have to have an internal clock in our head and understanding how to read the receiver's hands, his eyes, and giving us an indication that the ball is on its way to to a certain guy. So it's tough being a DB in this league.
Have you seen an increase in like PI balls, basically like quarterbacks throwing the ball with the sole hope of getting a penalty as opposed to a completion?
Well, as a defensive back, you always think the ref is going to call OPI. So I haven't really paid much attention to see what the numbers are. But at the end of the day, we have to continue to fight through that. And that's just one of the hard parts about being a DB.
There's definitely some quarterbacks who like.
Oh yeah, it's a couple that know how to get away with some of those, like the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, Jalen now giving his guys those 50-50 opportunity now that he has a A.J. Brown there with a bigger body, possession type receiver. So may see more of those this year.
What kinds of things do you tell young defensive backs as they're trying to figure out how to play those types of 50-50 balls, knowing the rules are called as tight as they are?
Man, it's really, really tough. It's almost instinct, to be quite honest with you. It's almost something that has to come to you because most guys panic in that situation. Most guys are cool, calm, and collected in that situation. And I can't teach or tell someone how not to panic. You know what I mean? All I can do is try to give them a little nugget here and there on, how to adjust to certain things. But when you get in live action, all of that stuff may go out the window. So it's kind of tough to teach a guy, how to defend those 50-50 balls. But, I can, give them little nuggets to help them try to defend those 50-50 balls better.
Pat, how many of Justin's catches on Sunday were you able to sort of enjoy from the sideline?
Every last one of them. Every last one of them. I believe it was the second touchdown. I had to go cool him down because I felt like he was about to take the roof off the building.
How much him motioning around like, as a defender, like how tough does that make it when Justin's lining up one place, motioning across or lining up in a completely different place? Like how hard is that to keep track of?
Well, first and foremost, 7 times out of 10 that he's involved in the offensive play. So then when you get him to moving, it's now the defense have to rethink what he's doing from that position that he started, what he's doing in the new position. So those guys have a great connection over there with Kirk and Kevin running the show. I think it was just a perfect marriage for him to come over into this offense of talent that he had and bringing over his scheme. It's just fun to watch. I had the opportunity to watch it in April, and now to finally see it all come into fruition. It's going to be a joy. It's going to be a great ride, and I can't wait to see where it's going to take us.